Thank you for subscribing to the Extra Mile Podcast. Help us out by leaving a review and a 5-star rating wherever you download the show. After leaving a review, slide on into our DMs over on social media at Mississippi DOT and let us know. As a thank you, we have compiled a Google Map list of all of our guests' favorite spots to eat on Mississippi highways. It is our gift to you. Seriously, you guys are the best. We could not do the show without you, and we greatly appreciate the support. Remember, drive smart out there on Mississippi highways.
MDOT presents the Extra Mile Podcast.
Welcome in to another edition of the Extra Mile Podcast presented by the Mississippi Department of Transportation. I'm Paul Catul, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Will Kraft, and we're finally back together. Will held things down last week and did a terrific interview with State Representative Trey Lamar. Go back and check that one out. Today we've got another excellent guest. We've got State Senator Charles Chuck Younger. He represents District 17, which is Lowndes County, a little Monroe, and a little of, let's see, what is that last one? Oktibbeha County. Cannot forget Oktibbeha County. Senator Younger, Chairman Younger, thank you so much for joining us today and coming in and speaking with us.
And thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Well, no time like the president got the session kicked off. Lots of bills flying around, but we do have some new faces. So, Senator, we wanted to introduce you to our folks. If you haven't put the dots together yet, Senator Younger is our transportation chairman on the Senate side. Coming in, how many sessions now for you is this?
This will be number 11.
Number 11.
Believe it or not.
So a seasoned vet, not new to the process or the routine over there at all, but a little bit new to us. And as far as chairmanship on us, I think you've been on the transportation committee before, though, right?
I have.
That's
I've been on the Transportation Committee a good while.
That's
yes.
right. So very familiar with all of the workings of the committee and the functions on that side. So, Senator, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How'd you get into all this?
Well, I'm from Lowndes County, West Lowndes County. Lived there all my life. It's about 7 miles west of Columbus. It's close to the river, like 2 miles from the Lock and Dam in Columbus. I live, my farm's there. Married a girl from Monroe County. She was a W girl. We have 3 kids, 6 grandkids, and a full house when they're all there.
I bet.
But it's I'm just a hometown boy, country boy. I went to Mississippi State, didn't finish. I didn't finish. I went back home and started farming. I've farmed my whole life: cattle, soybeans, corn. Hard to make a living with the farm, but we've done pretty good with it.
So that is your full-time, you're farming?
Yes. I'm going to skip out on the row crops this coming year because it doesn't. You just can't figure a profit on it. I'm just going to stick with my cattle.
I won't try to understand and break into that. I am not a farmer. So farming your whole life. What got you into politics?
Well, I was eating one day in a restaurant and had some Columbus Air Force Base guys in there, and this was around. I think this was. Well, it was it was before Senator Brown had passed away. It was a special election that I went in for. And I got to, I said, I can't serve my country. I'm too old. I think I was like 49 or 50 then. And so I said, I could run for office of some kind. I had thought about it. And anyway, when Senator Brown had passed away, my friends and I were looking for somebody to take a spot, and they kind of turned the ball on me. And I said, I was looking for a supervisor more than I was going to Jackson. But they kind of turned the ball on me, and I said, I'm going to check with my wife and see if she's for it. And she was okay with it, so, the rest is history.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
There you go. And so Will mentioned it a little bit ago. So chairman of the Highways and Transportation Committee. How has that been so far, and why did you want to chair up that committee?
Well, I was chairman of Ag, and of course, being chairman of Agriculture, I was in close contact with Mike McCormick, Farm Bureau, And I mentioned it to him. I said, that's coming open. All the roads go to agriculture. You got to get your product to the market. I said, it's and of course I'm up and down the highways now all the time, and I've always called my commissioner up north to let him know where the bad spots are in the highways, and talked to Mike McCormick and some other folks. I said, I think I'm going to put my hat, in the ring on that, and I told the lieutenant governor I was interested in it, and he has faith in me, so I got it.
Absolutely. Hey, we're proud to have you. We know bittersweet. We did lose Senator Branning there, but she's gone. Some would say to greener pastures, right? She won her judicial race there.
Senator Branning, she's a lovely lady. Judge Branning now.
That's right. Excuse me.
Yeah, she's a smart, good girl, good lady, and we're happy to have her Supreme Court.
That's exactly right. Well, Senator, let's get into a little bit of session talk again. I know we're at week 3, maybe? Start of week 4?
I think so.
Fast and furious, I know. But we'll get into one other bill here in just a second. But outside of the big bill that everybody's been talking about with the taxes and recurring revenue, things like that, anything that you are looking to author or are interested in that you want to mention?
Well, right now I'm kind of waiting on Josh Harkins and Senator Harkins and Senator Hobson on what we're going to come back with the House. The House bill started they started the process. We like part of it.
Sure.
Some things we have doubts on, and we're just trying to be cautious, and try to come up with something that'll make everybody happy.
Absolutely, yeah.
So where do you kind of fall on the recurring revenue aspect of that? Is that kind of a priority of yours coming into the?
I would love to see that, where MDOT doesn't have to come begging for money every year. I'd like to see us come up with something that they're guaranteed to have for several years, and to match the federal money. So, and look, I have faith in Brad White, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here on this podcast.
Sure.
Brad, I've seen our highways improve dramatically, and I've seen the projects. He tries to keep us informed. MDOT's been keeping us informed on all the projects going around through the state, and I have faith in Brad. I really do. He's doing a great job. I think everybody's happy with what's going on, and look, when a family starts, their 2 biggest expenses is first, a place to live. Second is a high-dollar vehicle, and they're so expensive now.
They are.
Definitely.
And, you want a decent road to drive on so your vehicle won't be torn up. I got a 2018 truck, and I'm still making payments on it. It's crazy, and it's old, But, that's where I stand on it. I think we need to improve our roads and bridges, especially our bridges for the farmers, agriculture, all these rural areas. It's a must.
Yeah.
There you go. It seems like no one's against transportation. That's the
and not if they want to get where they're going. That's right.
That's right.
That's smart.
Exactly. It is something that we hit on this, and you just mentioned it. That federal match, but it's such a critical part of being able to get all of the money that we can as a state, to having that state. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. Having that state match to get all of that federal match. But then again, like you said, every aspect basically of daily life, whether it's an economic driver or deliveries or, commercial, whatever it is, it's impacted by the state's highway, transportation network. So.
No doubt. And in my area, the Golden Triangle area, we've got all this economic development that's occurring, and they're building the new aluminum mill there. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, we had to get our sheriffs to help direct the traffic because it was backing up on Highway 82.
Wow.
That's how many people, 6 o'clock is just bumper to bumper.
Yeah, and I feel like there's more and more cars on the road every day.
Yes, it is.
My grandmother used to say every time we get out on the road, she'd say, well, I think all these people waited till I left to get on the road. That's just about how it feels. As I cruised down Lakeland Drive this morning, those of you that make that commute certainly understand there. And you talked about the big bill there that's coming over from the House side. Anything that you authoring, working on the Senate side to ship across that you want to share?
Yeah, right now I'm kind of waiting.
Sure.
Paused on Senator Harkins and
Oh, I got you.
leadership.
Gotcha.
We're waiting to come up with a bill similar to the House's bill.
I got you.
Of course, we do have some senators that are going to have to run a special election.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that now.
Well, it's from what I understand, they're having to redraw some districts, and it's for the feds, for the federal guys.
Right.
They think that we didn't have the districts fair, so they're redrawing the districts to get more minority inclusion in for the senators. And anyway, I'm not sure how many senators are going to have to run again for a special election, but I've been hearing the number 12. So,
That would be this year?
that will be this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So, for them to vote for an increase
Right.
of any kind
Sure.
of tax, they're going to be
Yeah, no doubt.
they're going to be on the fence.
Having to turn right around and go talk to their neighbors.
Right.
And ask them to send them back to Jackson. Right.
Yeah.
Understandably so. And we've talked about this. I think it's been a long time, maybe when Speaker Gunn was on the show. It's been so while. But it is, everybody thinks, going to Jackson and being a legislator and working at the Capitol, and it is a lot of, glitz and glamour, and sort of that's, part of it. But it's difficult from the concept of, for a lot of reasons, but people expect you to have black and white, and oftentimes y'all are handed gray and expected to make that decision. Is it good or bad? We would all sit here and say, well, it's not really either. But you guys have to make that decision,
Yeah. And take it back home and get text and emails and everything else,
Go to church on Sunday and then have to.
Yeah. But, ever since I've been down here, I've been for increasing the tax for fuel and gas for highways. The first year the first year I served, it was a the special election. And then the next year, following year, that was the end of Governor Reeves being the governor. And, I preached to him. I said, Governor, we need to, and the fuel was cheap at that time.
Right, yeah.
Sure.
But anyway, I've been for a tax increase ever since I've been down here for gas and fuel to improve our highways and bridges.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
We certainly appreciate it. I would just, only thing I would add to that is, we're not totally sold out on just the tax increase itself. There are other mechanisms out there, right, that we've talked about, some diversions and maybe some other mechanisms, lottery and things that are out there. Not necessarily the other things aren't in the House Bill 1 plan, but should that fail or should it not be the ideal solution, there are others out there.
There is.
That's right. We want to diversify that stream of revenue. But Paul, any other hard hitting?
Oh goodness, I got some hard hitting questions. Not at all. Really, just any other legislation. Doesn't have to be transportation. That's kind of caught your eye this session. Before we get to the fun stuff,
I can't think of anything really.
Still early.
Yeah, it's still early. Senator Berry, he was telling me a story of a long time ago that one of his, I think it might have been a representative or a senator, but I remember he was telling me a story about his dad. I think it was his father, that somebody was picking on this representative, or either it was a senator, saying, y'all don't do anything. Y'all just go down there and eat all the time. And the representative or senator replied, he said, and that's the best you can ask for. So sometimes passing new laws doesn't mean the best thing in the world,
That's an excellent point.
Sure.
Yeah, an excellent point. I do love that. That's a good story to illustrate that. Fine Simpson County friend there, Senator Barry.
He is.
Awesome. Well, Paul, let's get some fun questions in here.
good. You kick it off.
Let the senator get back to it. Well, we know we won't try and keep you too much longer, but we do like to ask these two at the end of sort of every show. But I know you spend a lot of time running the roads all over the state, traveling. You got to eat. We like to eat, and we love to talk about food too. Is there a place maybe back home that you don't get to go very often, or outside the district maybe? Let's do that. What's maybe a favorite local place, and then somewhere maybe just around the state you don't get to go very often, but you look forward to?
Oh gosh, there's back home. There's a place called Broussard's.
Broussard's.
Yeah, Broussard's.
Add it to the list.
Oh,
a long time ago. Well, you got to call and make, ever since COVID, it's a mother and daughter operation, and you got to call and make an appointment.
I bet it's good.
It's really good. It's a little pricey, but it's good. It's real good.
A mom and daughter. Okay.
Yeah, it started in Macon, Mississippi.
Okay.
The dad was alive then, and I think his name was Joe Broussard. But anyway, he was moved to Macon by some doctors that had hunting land down there. Well, he passed away, and the mother and daughter moved to Columbus, and Beth and Mary, I think is their names. And it's really good.
Broussard.
And then we have another place called the Mexican Kitchen. It's nothing
Okay.
like the other Mexican restaurants that are everywhere. It's they got a special hot sauce. It's
Okay.
it's very addicting.
I can get down with some Mexican food
oh
now.
man, it's good. It's good. But and of course, every time I come to Jackson with my wife, she's over there on her phone, and she wants to try a new restaurant.
Okay.
And Politos, I think that's how you pronounce it. I always messed up.
We've talked about that one a couple times.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a good restaurant here in Fondren.
I have not made the trip over yet. Paul, did you ever get to go?
I have not.
So
it's
we're still slacking.
right across the street from where I live, but good spot.
Yeah, right
That's
next
what
to
I've
the
heard.
what is it? The brewery, the beer. What's the
Fertile
name?
Ground, isn't it right?
Yes.
Yeah,
there you go.
Spend
It's
a lot of
right
time
next to
there.
it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
he's familiar. He's very familiar with that place. He's been there.
Elvis is good right across the street
Also,
from it.
excellent
And
recommendation.
of course, it's a lot safer to go eat in Jackson now since we did the Capitol Police.
That's true.
Thank the Lord.
I see them all over the place. I'm not a Jacksonian by resident, but I have heard from folks that do live that they see those Capitol Police out a good bit.
Yes.
I know that's appreciative.
They're
Yeah.
all over.
Oh yeah, we appreciate them so much.
Absolutely. Excellent food
doubt.
recommendations there. I think I've definitely polished off those last two. I had to make my way up to Broussard's now, though.
Oh yeah, little road trip action.
Yeah.
Well, those are awesome recommendations, and we have one more question for you before we head out the door. So besides food, we love food here. We also love music. So is there a concert that you've been to that really sticks out in your mind? Got an
Favorite
answer?
concert you've been
My
to?
wife bought tickets to the Doobie Brothers out at Brandon this
Okay.
last.
nice.
Was it last year? I think it was last year.
I think so too. Yeah, they run together.
They
I
did.
believe so.
We saw the Doobie Brothers, and then we went and saw Train.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Really?
Train was really. I mean, the Doobie Brothers were fine, but they're a little bit older than me, but they still can rock. But Train was really good.
I believe it. I'm a big Train fan. Both of those at Brandon Amphitheater.
They sure were.
I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
that's the most frequent, I think, phrase that we've talked about on this show and hadn't been to is the Brandon Amphitheater.
Easy to get in and out too. I couldn't believe it.
Everybody has high praise for that place, and they get some good shows. We just have not made it out. We want to do a podcast out there at some point. If you can help us get in, we'll get some tickets out there.
Yeah.
We can check it out.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Senator. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to come by and visit with us, and we'll get you out of here as soon as we can.
Thank y'all for having me.
Many thanks, Senator. We'll just go ahead and wrap things up there. Thank you to our listeners, our viewers, for tuning into the Extra Mile podcast. You can watch and listen to episodes by visiting goemdot.com/the extra mile. Follow us on social media at Mississippi DOT is the handle. We want to thank our producer, editor, Drew Hall. He's looking fancy today, holding things down behind the scenes. And remember to drive smart out there on Mississippi highways.